as he did not play last night in a shutout win for the Edmonton Oilers against the Calgary Flames. It was Devin Dubnyk, whose Geloff gets the start against his old team and should make for an interesting story as this game moves along.
Braves, the Oilers notably quiet leading up to this game. They did not have a full skate this morning to the Oilers because they played last night.
31-year-old
no media availability for Braves. I have a feeling, especially
as the season went on for the Oilers, they needed to be good right off the hard road early in the season this time around.
The availability for
referees tonight are playing.
I have a feeling, especially if you look for the Flyers, as they wear their road whites, home blues for the Oilers. Drew out, taking a hit. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins as he moves the puck ahead, and the Flyer line combinations appear at the top of your screen. Flyers, of course, with that 4-2 win over the Oilers back in early November in Philadelphia, which was the start of their turnaround. And certainly the beginning of the resurgence of Claude Giroux offensively. Towards Sochi, that backhander by Gagne is handled by Mason. We'll have a face-off to his right.
The importance here for the Edmonton Oilers is much better defensive play. You mentioned the Calgary Flames problem, 30th in the year last year, but the Edmonton Oilers need to speed that brain. This is a team that needs to be a much better defensive team. For the Oilers, Flyers got to be aware that it gets off to a great start. It was not easy in November for him last year. He's going to have to be pretty more solid here in the early going. By the end of November, these teams were 13th and 14th in the Western Conference. That can't happen again because you can't catch a game after the Christmas break. And the Flyers far behind in the NHL had 2 practices. Yesterday, though a couple players sat out because of the flu. And the morning skate today for the Flyers.
3 minutes,
that's not
3 minutes, 18 seconds, 3 minutes, 19. The first part of this game might expect minimum value zero. And that's a 3 minutes, 20 seconds, 2 hours, 1 minute, 52 seconds.
And here is Shen moving in. Winded fire! Brins Geloff had no idea where the puck was. Made the save. He was still thinking the puck was in his equipment as the puck was fired back into the slot. Now it's Simmons centering, but nobody home for Philadelphia. Boyd Gordon took care of that for Edmonton. He now has the puck, and he'll send the pop fly to the neutral zone. Batted down by Grossman, but played in the Philadelphia zone by the Oilers. Hemsky moving on in, and
3 minutes, 17, 3 minutes, 41 seconds, 3 minutes, 42 seconds, 2 hours, 1 minute, 52 seconds.
Batted down by Grossman, but played in the Philadelphia zone by the Oilers. Hemsky moving on in, and
3 minutes, 45 seconds, 3 minutes, 40 seconds, 3 minutes, 40 seconds, 2 hours, 1 minute, 52 seconds.
Mason meets him at the side of the net, and Strike was able to stay with him. Now back the other way go the Flyers is out of a haul by the Oilers.
3 minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute, 15 seconds, 1 minute, 14 seconds, 1 minute, 15 seconds, 2 hours, 1 minute, 52 seconds.
In Philadelphia, which was the start of the turnaround, and certainly the beginning of the resurgence of Claude Giroux offensively. Over and here, a turnover. Taylor Hall to steal the shot, and he scores.
2 minutes, 32 seconds, 2 minutes, 33 seconds, 2 minutes, 34 seconds, 2 hours, 1 minute, 52 seconds.
And for a 22-year-old, Taylor Hall to be on the Olympic team would be quite an honor.
It would be, and you can see the speed that he brings. Imagine him on that big ice and the Olympic ice surface. A little more space for Taylor Hall to wind up, and the Flyers have to be aware. And the
2 minutes, 43 seconds, 2 minutes, 39, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 0 seconds, 2 minutes, 56, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 3 seconds, 3 minutes, 4 seconds, 3 minutes, 5 seconds, 2 hours, 1 minute, 52 seconds.
After the Christmas break, and the Flyers getting their first action. They've had 2 practices. Full practice yesterday, although a couple players sat out because of the flu, and the morning skate today for the Flyers. But that's not game action, so the first part of this game, you might expect some rustiness from the Flyers, and I think we saw a little bit of it right there from Braden Coburn. Now the Flyers moving up. And here is Shen moving in. Winded fire! And Brins Geloff had no idea where the puck was. Made the save. He was still thinking the puck was in his equipment as the puck was fired back into the slot. Now it's Simmons centering, but nobody home for Philadelphia. Boyd Gordon took care of that for Edmonton. He now has the puck, and he'll send the pop fly to the neutral zone. Batted down by Grossman, but played in the Philadelphia zone by the Oilers. Hemsky moving on in, and Mason meets him at the side of the net as Strike was able to stay with him. Now back the other way go the Flyers is out of a haul, trying to recover from the flu. Gets the puck in. Steve Downey on for his first chip. Back Ronaldo, a big hit. Hall, the shot in the save. Geloff will hang on. Big hit by Ronaldo, setting up that shot by Hall.
Well, here's the speed of Taylor Hall. As you can see on that forecheck, he's in. He's going to circle back, and he's thinking of every opportunity to steal the puck. And you can see he kind of sneaks in there on Braden Coburn before he grabs it, and then the quickness to beat Mason to the glove side.
Well, this is a example right here on this shot that Pascal, if you want to shoot the puck on him, because he's obviously got to be nervous. I mean, he's playing. This is a big thing for him. So get the shots on him. If he loses his confidence, it could be a big part for this hockey team.
His numbers are decent, but in his last 2 starts, he has given up some pretty bad goals. Here's Everly with a backhander, and Mason just got a piece of it. An early indication again of the speed of the Oilers right there. Now LeCavalier the other way will send the puck in. Now Couturier after it. Couturier wins the battle, gets the puck to LeCavalier. Left untended behind the net. Tried to center. It's blocked back to him by Ferentz, and it skips to the corner. Fires aggressively after that. His team and jabs it through to Couturier. He's knocked down from behind by Justin Schultz, and they get the puck out to the neutral zone. And the Oilers move up. Everly into the Philadelphia zone. Coburn back. And they'll backhand it around and all the way up to LeCavalier. He takes the puck and flips quickly to Couturier. Right back to LeCavalier. To the high slot. And then he deals to Reed. Matt Reed takes the puck behind the net. Gagne has him pinned, so Reed will sling it back out to the point. Mazzales is there. Back down low. Couturier knocks it down. Spins with it. Some of his mates are heading off on a change. Couturier just backhanding that along for Reed. He's checked and taken down by Nick Schultz. And now the Oilers have it, and they'll move it ahead. Just over 3 minutes in from Rexall Place in Edmonton. Glad you could join us on the Comcast Network for the Flyers and Oilers. The Raffle in after a loose puck momentarily. Couldn't come up with it. Now he has it. He's checked, but Voracek picks it up. Voracek all the way around. Centers it. And it went on through. Giroux didn't see it. And back the other way. Hall looking to break. Couldn't handle it cleanly. And now he'll move after the puck as David Perron sent it into the Philadelphia zone. But instead it's Luke Schenn. He'll play it in center. Jab right back to the Philadelphia line. There's Mazzales off Raffle stick. Voracek speeds to the puck. Voracek angle shot off the outside of the post. And Golf appeared to be falling away from that post. Here's Raffle. Back behind the net hoping for Giroux. Sidesteps a check, but then got hooked ever so slightly. That took him off the play, and Hall will move the puck to Nugent Hopkins. Hopkins, a nice cut at the line. The shot, score!
6 minutes, 6 minutes, 15 seconds, 6 minutes, 17 seconds, and 2 hours, 1 minute, 52 seconds.
Speeds to the puck.
5 minutes, 4 minutes, 4 seconds.
Big hit by Ronaldo, setting up that shot.
0%.
That's a separation. Arnold 37 here giving some room for the Oilers, but he fires one. It deflects high. A couple of Flyers go past it, and that is icing. The scratches from the Lions brought to you by Virtua. Gustafson out for the time being for the Flyers with a knee injury. Rose, Hill, Gill, and Vandervelde are healthy scratches. So on the list for the Oilers. A couple injuries there, but a relatively healthy team.
Now Taylor Hall, #1 pick. Nugent Hopkins. You probably just, anytime something happens, it's the #1 draft pick. But what a move by Nugent Hopkins. I mean, he just absolutely just cut. It looked like he went straight left. And that's what really caught Strike, because he was moving one way, and Nugent Hopkins went the other.
Strike did recover to some degree, and really expect your goaltender to make that save. I know Steve Mason expects to make that save. He has not played well in this building. 1-3 in his career against the Oilers here at Rexall Place with a high goals against average. And sometimes you can start to let that get into your head.
He's going to have to make a couple of saves here on the next Oilers 8 quality opportunities, or Craig Berube is going to be thinking about making a change in goal here with the way the Edmonton Oilers have started this game and the way the Flyers have been sitting back a little too much.
Downey to Mazzales across for Luke Schenn. He'll risk one deflected, but it goes high off the glass and skips out of play. Face off the rod to center ice. But you mentioned the two #1 overalls that have scored. Nugent Hopkins, another first overall. 10 first-round picks on this Oilers team. 8 of them are Oiler picks, and several of them very high, as you can see. A lot of teams have used that blueprint. The Penguins, the Caps, perhaps to some degree, to turn things around. The Blackhawks, you get those high picks and you turn it around, but it hasn't happened for the Oilers. They've gone 7 straight years without a playoff spot. Do you see the turnaround coming?
I thought it was going to come before this season. I'm surprised how poorly they have played. You're starting to look for those important pieces to surround those young stars with, some of the veteran presence. Ryan Smith probably past his prime now. I'm not sure that you want to rely heavily on him if you're Dallas Eakins, but a young coach coming in with this team that's got some great ideas, speaks very well, but so far the message hasn't got through to the Edmonton Oilers, although they have played a little better over their last few games.
Well, one thing for sure, you got to slow them down. If that's not evident here in the first 6 minutes of hockey, where they're just flying through the neutral zone, and that's where they're gaining all the
neutral zone. Penguin over Star. See the turnaround coming.
I thought it was going to come before this season. I was surprised how poorly they played.
He shoots it. Scores! What a move for Patrick Maroon. His 45th goal of the season.
Another turnover. Tyler Pitlick takes advantage. Before this season, I'm surprised how poorly they played. They're starting to look for those important pieces to surround those young stars with some of the veteran presence. Ryan Smith probably past his prime now. Not sure that you want to rely heavily on him with Dallas Aikens, but a young coach coming in with this team that's got some great ideas. He speaks very well, but so far the message hasn't got through to the Edmonton Oilers, although they have played a little better over the last few games.
Winning all the problems for the Fireball defense.
Speaks very well, but so far the message hasn't got through to the Edmonton Oilers, although they have played a little better over the last few games.
Get to the puck here. Couturier moving it ahead to the Cavaliers. The adjustment can come to Edmonton, decides adjusting to frigid temperatures outside. The ice surface here very fast, very quick. And I do think that has something to do with Coburn's good way. It can add to a little bit of a different game, Jones. Even from up here, it's moving more quickly.
But it's a big advantage for Edmonton playing last night, which you talked about after the Christmas break. This is a 10 minutes process. You follow it every 10 minutes, you're going to see a different game for the Flyers, just based upon the fact that they had some time off. This game will change.
Just settle down a little bit. That's all you got to do.
Flyers in the offensive zone here. Grossman is shot, but Iskawa makes the save. He's able to cover. A little pushing and shoving right in the crease. Couturier getting a couple shots in there. We'll be back. The first one came back on November the 9th in Philadelphia. Jay Rosehill got the Flyers on the board. And then the Flyers continued to score. This is a big goal. Claude Giroux's first of the season, making it 3-1. Taylor Hall did get the Oilers back within one. Steve Mason had to protect that lead. They got another goal. The Flyers into the Cavalier from the angle. And then Mason holding forth the rest of the way. The Flyers getting the win. That was the game after they had the closed-door meeting following a shutout loss to New Jersey. And since that game, the Flyers have played very well and have climbed all the way into the third, fourth position in the Metropolitan Division. The Oilers have had their ups and downs. Overall series, relatively even, although the Flyers 0-3-1 in the last four trips here. Not won here since 2001. They haven't been here a while. 0-3-1 in the last four trips here.
As the Fargo
Something 2001. They have 5 minutes into the first.
the first to kindle the rivalry.
Philadelphia line as an offside.
Well, you can rekindle the rivalry as the Phantoms take on the Hershey Bears on Saturday, February the 1st at 1 p.m. Phantoms take on the Hershey Bears on Saturday, February the 1st at 1 p.m. Tickets start at just $10 for great American Hockey League action at the Wells Fargo Center. Stop in and catch the boys going at it. That was an amazing rivalry back in the day. For great American Hockey League action at the Wells Fargo Center. Stop in and catch the boys going at it. That was an amazing rivalry back in the day.
Indeed it was. And with orange and black, we mentioned in attendance here at Rexall Place. The skate this morning looked almost like an open practice. And they opened it up. And there's an upping here. Call.
Well, you can rekindle the rivalry as the Phantoms take on the Hershey Bears on Saturday, February the 1st at 1 p.m. Tickets start at just $10 for great American Hockey League action at the Wells Fargo Center. Stop in and catch the boys going at it. That was an amazing rivalry back in the day.
Indeed it was. And with orange and black, we mentioned in attendance here at Rexall Place. The skate this morning looked almost like an open practice. They opened it up and let people come in to watch the Flyers on orange and black. Always wanted the Flyers autographs. Oilers move up here. Talented Alshevsky holding on. Cross ice shot goes wide from Belloff, the defenseman. And now the Flyers look to get it back, and will as Braden Coburn move it ahead. This pass ahead for Hartnell, but he's disrupted by the rookie defenseman Martin Linchin, who's playing his third game of the season. First since being called up due to an injury to Corey Potter. Offside again at the Philadelphia line.
Look at Boyd Gordon. He's having a pretty good season for the Edmonton Oilers since coming over from the Phoenix Coyotes, originally drafted by the Washington Capitals, and very strong on face-offs. Was brought in to try to fit in around some of those young stars and provide some balanced scoring and some good sound defensive play. I think he's done his job.
Much for a checking setter, but he's very good, as you mentioned, on draws, and this is pretty much what this team needed. They have so many scorers, they need more of those complementary kind of players, don't they?
Yeah, and he's still in his prime, too. It's not in a situation where it's, a player that's near the end of his career that stops by. It's not the type of players that the Edmonton Oilers need right now.
Giroux moving up. Giroux looking for Raffle. That one sifts on through to the corner. Mazzara was in on the play, but it goes to Perron instead. He could not get it out of the zone. Voracek with a pass. Raffle tried to return it to him, but it hit his leg and bounced the other way. And now the Oilers will move it ahead. Nugent Hopkins up the middle. It's a 3-on-2. His left wing feed is to Piku, the defenseman. Back to Nugent Hopkins. Centering pass blocked off by Giroux. Giroux then finishes Nugent Hopkins and gets the puck, and then he's run at by Hall. Spins off that check, got the puck to Downey. Downey run at by Perron as this one gets a little testy. Leave Downey out with Hall and Ronaldo. His fourth line duty to start here. That pass ahead. Grossman ties a man up. Penalty. He took Jordan Eberle down. And the Oilers will go to the bottom. Jordan Eberle down. Smith ties a man up. Penalty. He took Jordan Eberle down. And the Oilers will go to the bottom. They want a penalty shot here. Eberle is complaining to the referee. And perhaps should be a penalty shot, but just a penalty at this point.
Almost an alley-oop type pass through the neutral zone that landed perfectly for Jordan Eberle, and Grossman was in a difficult spot and was forced to go down another highly skilled young Edmonton Oilers. There's the pass right there from Sam Gagner, and there's the play by Eberle.
There as Russell turned around with the reverse pass, and Tkachuk didn't lay up in time. So the first penalty and an early opportunity for the Oilers to get this crowd back on their feet.
Power Play is brought to you by BioSteel Sports Nutrition, the natural choice for everyday performance. Drink the pink. Ryan Nugent Hopkins starts a play by Power Play. McNeil goes to his left. Maroon to his right.
NHL December 28/12/13 Philadelphia Flyers, Edmonton Oilers. Visit YouTube and 6 more pages. Microsoft Edge visit YouTube video player. +0%
the last 26 of the last 8 games. And they've given up 8 shorthanded goals, which is by far the most in the NHL. So sometimes you can catch them pitching and end up with a break the other way.
They do play 4 forwards on the first power play unit here. Maybe that plays into some of the opportunities that you can get against their young defense.
Flyers after the puck here. Hall will jab it into the Edmonton zone. Justin Schultz goes back to get it. Drafted by Anaheim, chose not to sign there, became a free agent, and chose Edmonton. No pause that here. As the puck takes to Ryan Smith. Without a penalty clock in the building, so waiting on perhaps the public address to let us know how much time is remaining on the power play. It's Raffle getting a little room and then decides to take it back out, rag, and waste time off the power play before sending it into the Edmonton zone. A little less than a minute remaining. In the power play, Yakupov gets the puck into the zone. Mazaras, Nugent Hopkins, Shen, all in the vicinity. Luke Shen on the backhand, got it out to the neutral.
1 second.
This team called up.
These are the alumni who may stay here tonight because they won't be able to find their way out.
Can't find their way out at all. It really is quite an amazing accomplishment and puts Edmonton on the map. The seats, okay, the executive suites are just amazing. Great viewpoints all around. This scoreboard, Jim, is one that I think people are just find themselves almost staring up at that more than even the game.
But it won't become iconic until the players in it become the stars instead of the building.
That's the key. I think Time has to come for this club to get their way out. You can't find their way out at all. It really is quite an amazing accomplishment and puts Edmonton on the map. The seats, okay, the executive suites are just amazing. Great viewpoints all around. This scoreboard, Jim, is
surrounded by Edmonton Oilers, and he had to look up over his shoulder and to be able to get it up high. That was the key to get that out of the goal.
Digs it off the block, but it was nothing Oilers. We passed it back to the Hall. The time is remaining to the zone.
Seats slide 17 minutes, 10 seconds. 16 minutes, 17 minutes, 14 seconds, 17.
He has it back. Had to center, blocked by Zaz, who then tries to clear, but couldn't get much on it. Reed to the puck. Backhands, it's blocked. Zaz another try, and he'll backhand it all the way down. That will take care of the power play. Out of the box jumps Grossman.
17 points.
Jeff Petrie back to get the puck for Edmonton. 2-0 Oilers. We passed the midpoint of the first period. 1-1. The shots in favor of Edmonton. We're past that 10-minute mark. We'll see if the Flyers have gotten their legs, looking to rust out, gotten used to the ice in Edmonton and all that. This will be icing against Edmonton. And so face off into the offensive zone. Get Philly sports news and scores when you're on the go. Be the first to know the latest on all your Philly teams right from your smartphone. Download the free CSN Philly Sports app now.
Michael Raffl killing off that penalty. The Flyers do a nice job. He'll sit on this shift with Giroux and Voracek out there with Steve Downey, who gets an opportunity to jump up and play
teams right from your smartphone. Download the free CSN Philly Sports app now.
Michael Raffl killing off that penalty. The Flyers do a nice job. He'll sit on this shift with Giroux and Voracek out there with Steve Downey, who gets an opportunity to jump up and play a shift on the top line.
Zone, legs, looking to rust out, got used to the ice here in Edmonton and all that. This will be icing against Edmonton. It's our face-off into the offensive zone. Get Philly sports news and scores when you're on the go. Be the first to know the latest on all your Philly teams right from your smartphone. Download the free CSN Philly Sports app now.
Michael Raffl killing off that penalty. The Flyers do a nice job. He'll sit on this shift with Giroux and Voracek out there with Steve Downey, who gets an opportunity to jump up and play a shift on the top line.
And off the draw to Giroux. Spinning it in on goal. Now put the paddle down to knock it away. Now Giroux, checked by Ferris, knocked down, still got the puck to Grossman, whose shot is blocked by Gordon, who then tips it ahead to Everly. 2-on-2 with Smith. Everly to the Philadelphia line, marked by Grossman, spins back, and finds Smith, turning himself with the puck. Go backhand to Everly, but he couldn't hang on. Grossman plays it ahead, and the Flyers will move up. Here's Voracek. Gains the line, cuts around, gets some space, takes the shot, Brizgalov to save, and he's able to cover on the loose puck. It's still 2-0 Edmonton here in the first. Edmonton University game notes for tonight. Well, how about the schedule for this road trip? We'll run that down for you. And, of course, the World Juniors now underway. There's the schedule, Jonesy. Comcast Sportsnet for the next 4 after tonight, and then back on the Comcast Network for the finale in New Jersey. And how about the World Juniors? Team USA 2-0 with a 6-3 win, and Team Canada loses in a shootout to the Czechs today.
Yeah, Scott Lawton picked up an assist in that game for Team Canada. Didn't play a lot, though, in the third period. Not sure that I saw him on the ice. I think I'd like to see him out there a little bit more.
I would, too. I thought that the Czechs played really well, considering they got beat 5-1 by the United States to have their first game in the Junior Championship. Boy, they played well against Canada in May.
She's Canadian. You can sense the concern in his voice.
Yes, he gets very upset.
The World Juniors in Canada is treated as a huge deal. I mean, they follow it very closely. Games get huge ratings, even when they're on the morning, as was the case here in Edmonton today. And Simmons wrapped up. Flyers fighting for the loose puck. Luke Shen getting it back to his brother, and Luke's shot is batted away by Brizgalov. Had to settle into this one. Looked a little shaky early on. Hasn't been tested too much here over the last little while. Now Mazaris for the steal. Flyers look to go to the attack of the counter rush, but offside is the call. Hartnell apparently in the zone ahead of Mazzaro.
Give just a little bit of energy here, too, and I expect a little push here for the Flyers in the next couple of shifts.
Couturier stealing the puck. His shot saved. Made rebound. LeCavalier in front for Reed. He could not ram it home as there was lots of net to shoot at. Joensuu, the former Islander, to the puck. Now pass up the middle, slotted away again, but back by Beloff, and he'll move it ahead to Joensuu. Joensuu a wide fire, save Mason, big rebound. Right there is Strike. The backhanded to the neutral zone, and he gets it back now. Flipped it to Lecavalier. He was heading off on a change, and if he had played it, would have been too many men on the ice.
That was a heads-up play by Lecavalier because he saw it and just got out of the way as quickly as possible and jumped back onto the bench.
There was that moment of hesitation.
Yes.
He went to play it and then said, oh, no, I can't do this. And so we play on. Here's Steven.
It's where your bench can really help, too. Communication. A couple guys on the bench, I'm sure, were yelling to leave it. And Vinny did just that.
And all the way in the forecheck, knocks Petrie down. Petrie lands on the puck. They fish it free. Here's Downey getting it in front. Flyers went hard to the net, but the puck went behind both Ronaldo and Hall. As Rizgalov had some contact to deal with. The Oilers will send the puck into the Philadelphia zone. Coburn there takes the hit. Pretty high hit at that. The puck bounces out into the slot. Ronaldo will move it to center, and he's swarmed upon there. Popped it up. Yakupov has it. Minus 25 on the year. Lowest in the NHL. And that pass, that's the defenseman, deflects off of Yakupov and goes out of play. 5:55 remaining in period number 1.
Oilers up 2-0. Ilya Brizgalov with 8 saves in the early going. I can't say they've been the prettiest, so this one gets under the arm there and kind of slides past him. Forechecks opportunity. He's kind of sliding off the angle, but he's able to retrieve that rebound opportunity. This one he kind of bounces across, and Matt Reed just misses a tap in there. He kicks that one out to the slot area and gets himself back up in the play. He's been okay, but the Flyers starting to get some chances against him. You can see his numbers against Philadelphia in his career. Pretty impressive 3-0 record.
His movement so far would tell me east-west.
Yeah.
East-west.
East-west. There he made a pretty good save on a redirected shot from the point. He got his blocker on now. It's even someone toward the net and it changed direction on the way in. There's Ferentz. That Hall is checked. Voracek to the puck. Voracek goes wide to the left wing. All the way around. Centered it. It's in skate shot. And a save made. Raffle got it in on Brisky. Oh, but he's able to make the stop and cover. Let's have a look at our Dodge trivia question of tonight's game. 1987 Stanley Cup Finals between the Flyers and Oilers. Which Flyer was awarded the Conn Trophy? Occasionally, we do give you a layup. I'd say this is a layup, but it's Ron Hextall, Tim Kerr, or 1987 Stanley Cup Finals between the Flyers and Oilers. Which Flyer was awarded the Conn Trophy? Occasionally, we do give you a layup. I'd say this is a layup, but it's Ron Hextall, Tim Kerr, or Mark Howell. Centered it. It's in skate shot and a save made. Raffle got it in on Brizgalov, and he's able to make the stop and cover. Let's have a look at our Dodge trivia question of tonight's game. Let's have a look at our Dodge trivia question of tonight's game.
Way up in time. So the first penalty to get his mark in the National Hockey League. Bad timing there as Russell turned around with the reverse pass and chucked it right up in time. So the first penalty and an early opportunity for the Oilers to get this crowd back on their feet.
Power play is brought to you by BioSteel Sports Nutrition, the natural choice for everyday performance. Drink the pain. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins starts in the power play. McDavid is to his left. Maroon to his right. There's a shot from the point.
It goes out, center it all the way down. 5 minutes remaining. A turnover by Mazzaros. The shot was blocked by Mazzaros. As Gordon could not get that one through.
Boy, Mazzaros did a great job of lining himself up. And as soon as Gordon dropped his shoulder or drops his head to be able to take that shot, Mazzaros got right in front of him.
You're even more courageous to block the shot after you've turned the puck over.
That's called incentive.
Exactly right. There's a check by Mazzaros, knocking down Hemsky, and the Flyers get the puck. Braden Shen to Hartnell, back to Braden Shen. Hoops joining the rush, but offside goes Hartnell.
Second time in this period that Scott Hartnell's been a step
But off the puck. Braden Shen to Hartnell, back to Braden Shen. Hoops joining the rush, but offside. Braden Shen by Mazzaros, knocking down Hemsky, and the Flyers get the puck. Braden Shen to Hartnell, back to Braden Shen. Luke's joining the rush, but offside goes Hartnell.
Second time in this period that Scott Hartnell's been a step quicker than his line mates. Mazzaros had fired a long shot on Brizgalov earlier where Hartnell had just stepped over the line, and Craig Berube having a little chat with him there. You can see he picked up his 500th career NHL point against the Wild on Monday night in the Flyers' 4-1 victory.
They'll drop the puck in the neutral zone. And the Oilers control. Lensu could not come up with that. Lecavalier hesitated as he's thinking shot, then pass. Now it's Reed. Unchecked. To back out to Straight. Straight looking for a seam, and while he did so, he lost control. Here come the Oilers in transition where they're at their most dangerous. Sam Gagner taken out of the play. Takes a look. A little trouble with that puck again. You noticed this, Jonesy. Flyers been having trouble with that puck sliding away from him a couple of times in this game.
Twice in this shift, and then big down here in Edmonton from Joensuu there on Nicholas Grossman.
The ice is really, really good.
Centered it. It's in skate shot.
Complimentary.
What a shot by Adam Larson.
0%
He gets a goal. 15 goal this season. And the Oilers are gaining a 2-1 lead.
Another turnover. Picnic takes advantage. And this is almost a lead by Larson. He gets
Give me a question.
allows his man to go through, but what a play by Russell breaking it up. Quick transition game, and sometimes simple is better. This is a simple play where you're looking for pass all the way, and instead of making the pass, the quick release gets under the arm of Elliott. For Elliott, a disappointing start. This
NHL
one
December.
goes right
Goalkeeper,
underneath. He overplayed it to
26
the
minutes, 2
outside,
seconds
and
of
it
2
found
seconds.
room
Slide
underneath
shot.
the elbow.
In front.
Tyler Pitlick's been a fighter here in throw. Just about every time he gets close to being a regular, he's been hurt. And he's in this opening man lineup. The ice hit contact there from Joensuu there on Nicholas Grossman.
The ice is really, really good, which is what it is all the time here in Edmonton.
Almost have to adjust your game, as we mentioned. Here's Hall stuffing it deep into the Edmonton zone. Oilers back to get it. Fell off, crashed into Ronaldo. And they get called for a penalty on that hit. So the Oilers have control. Delayed call. They'll get Brizgalov to the bench. Mazzaros plays the puck. There's your whistle. Ronaldo with a hit. They're going to call it in charge. We'll take a look. Oilers back to get it. Fell off, crashing it deep into the Edmonton zone. Oilers back to get it. Fell off, crashed into Ronaldo. And they get called for a penalty on that hit. So the Oilers have control. Delayed call. They'll get Brizgalov to the bench. Mazzaros plays the puck. There's your whistle. Ronaldo with the hit. They're going to call it in charge. We'll take a look.
Philadelphia penalty number 36, minor penalty charging.
Referee was quick to put his arm up. Ronaldo and Downey both on the ice trying to get things going for the Philadelphia Flyers, and there's the contact there.
Brian Myers, the guy that's going to make the call. I thought he actually took the steps around the goal line, then he glided, and I think that's why he was talking to Myers, saying, whoa, hold on, that's not a charge. Look, you can still see the upset face of Ronaldo. You can see the coach isn't happy with that one either.
Well, we talked about this. Peter Laviolette talked about this, that Zach, his hits, as the Oilers go right to work on this power play, they send players flying, and sometimes referees just can't figure out how a little guy like that does that, and they somehow assume that something illegal happened. There's a point shot knocked away by Mason in front as Ryan Smith was looking for it. Ryan Smith still dangerous on the power play. Hangs right around the net. Looks for tap-ins, deflections. There he is, number 94. He'll roll it out to Hall. Hall trying to spin away from a check. Now he gets it to Everly. Right to the point. Dustin Schultz across the Hall. The shot. Save Mason. Rebound. Rattles around, but Flyers can't get control to clear it. Good forward. The Oilers will go right back to work. Everly to Schultz. Fumbled that pass, and Couturier decides to play it conservatively. Goes back into his own zone and across to Coburn. He'll wait as long as he can and fire one all the way down. Minute 5 remaining on the power play. 2:28 in the period. Nugent Hopkins. Damsky and broken up by Hall, who clears. Yakupov goes back to get to the puck. Back to getting some power play time for Yakupov. He had not been seeing a whole lot of that of late as he had been devoted to the fourth line. But he is a very skilled individual. Gets the puck in and chases here. Grossman gets to it first to Luke Shen. Luke Shen gets Oliver underneath that and clears it all the way down.
Flyers doing a great job on the penalty kill. I mean, they're just in front of everybody for Edmonton. As soon as that puck goes to anybody, as far as puck carrying is concerned, they're being checked.
Oilers now will play one in. All the way around to Coburn. Coburn finds Giroux. Giroux outletting. Now Couturier moving up. 1-on-2. He's taken off the puck, but he follows up and it's a hit on Petrie. Final 6 seconds of the power play into the final 90 of the period. Giroux trying to steal the puck from Yakupov. Knocks him down. Fires back to full strength. Giroux remains hunting for the puck, but the Oilers able to move it up. Nugent Hopkins across. Perron spinning. Tight quarters. Flips one. Mason backs it away, but Hall gets to it. Hall then knockdown penalty. Strike will go. Cross-checking the call. Flyers right back to a short-handed situation.
Well, tickets for the 2014 Frozen Four coming to the Wells Fargo Center April 10th and 12th are on sale now and are going fast. Tickets include access to 2 semifinal games and the national championship game. Buy online at ComcastTix.com. There's a penalty in front of you, Coach.
I got to look at this one.
Tix.com. There's a penalty in front of you.
I got to look at this one again because it's got to be pretty drastic. Let's see his hands.
Take a draw.
He's extended his arms right at the last second. Hall goes down. I would imagine that probably would have been a penalty if Hall hadn't gone down, but as soon as you extend your arms
A couple
like
of big
that,
saves for Cam Talbot.
I think it's really important.
And couldn't get Giordano, 2 defensemen back at the blue line.
Myers
It's each
standing right there. It's
side.
hard to defend.
So the Oilers
NHL December 28,
power
2013
plays here.
If you extend your arms like that, and Myers standing right there, it's hard to defend. Penalty coming up on this one again because it's got to be pretty drastic to get a cross check. Let's see where his hands are. Hall is extending his arms right at the last second. Taylor Hall goes down. I would imagine that probably wouldn't have been a penalty if Hall hadn't
You
gone down.
mentioned a young player trying to make his mark in the National Hockey League. That time in there as Russell turned around with the reverse pass and Tkachuk didn't lay up in time. So the first penalty and an early opportunity for the Oilers to get this crowd back on their feet.
Power play is brought to you by BioSteel Sports Nutrition, the natural choice for everyday performance. Drink the pink.
Extend your arms like that.
So the Oilers nearly back-to-back power plays here. Flyers clear it out to center ice. There's one area of the game that Craig Berube has harped on since taking over as head coach that the team has not improved on. It's been on a penalty. This is an offside. Boyd, a fortuitous one for the Flyers because Hall was going full bore into the zone, but Ryan Smith was in the zone already, stopping play.
He was in the zone in the game last night, too, where he scored 2 goals for the Edmonton Oilers. He picked up the eventual game-winning goal early, right there off his chest, and then he picked up another one on the empty netter to ice it for the Edmonton Oilers right there. A little swoop around, and he's playing first power play minutes now for Dallas Eakins after starting the season on the 4th line and at times up in the stands.
124 power play goals in his career as an Oiler. His next one ties a guy by the name of Wayne Gretzky.
Not bad.
That would be
Pretty
second
good company.
all-time. Glenn Anderson has one more than that, and he's the all-time leader. Anytime you get your name in with those dynastic Oilers, you're doing well, right?
Yeah, to say the least.
23 seconds remain in the period as Hall sends it in. And they get to it. Gagne got it in front of his swing and a miss. Ryan Smith, not a baseball player, evidently. Oh, Hall. Run at by Hall. Adam Hall by Taylor Hall. And he took as many steps as Ronaldo did on his hit. No call here. Now the pass to Hemsky, and he's checked.
And the period comes to an end.
52 seconds remaining on the penalty. So more power play time for the Oilers to start the second. For the first time this season, the Flyers have allowed more than 1 goal in the first period. The Oilers score 2, have a 2-0 lead through 20 minutes of play. Tonight's Flyers-Oilers first period was brought to you by Mazda. We believe if it's not worth driving, it's not worth building. By Powerback Rehabilitation. And by Supercuts. Check out supercuts.com to find a convenient salon location near you. Rock the Cuts at Supercuts. John Bork and Al Morgani, along with Tim Panaccio. Yeah, Panaccio back in the studio to analyze the first period here tonight. Oilers 2, Flyers no score after 1. They banged up, played that game without Dennis Seidenberg. They knew that was coming as he was done for the season. That's sad news for those former Flyers after the year. And Chara did not play in that game either.
Cam Talbot got kicked into the season and brought to the Oilers. They needed to be good right off the hop. Winning the season this time. Referees tonight are playing. Oilers seem to be highlighting Karen Gibbs and Mark Reed by the linesmen. We're ready for hockey for the first time in Rogers Place. Connor McDavid's on the ice.
Flyers won in Edmonton 4-3, and then at Game 6, Brian Propp tied it late. J.J. Daniel won it, and the Flyers forced a Game 7 before the Oilers finally took their third of 5 Stanley Cups during that era with a 3-1 Game 7 win. Ron Hextall so tremendous during that Stanley Cup run for the Flyers, and there is a look at the Oilers. Really the last true dynasty in the NHL. 5 Stanley Cups in the 80s and into 1990. 5 Cups covering a 7-year span.
The Blackhawks trying to become one, and they were close. There's no question they've got one heck of an opportunity to win another Stanley Cup this year the way they've played. And, of course, winning 2 in the last 4 years, I guess, is as close as we come of late.
There's that statistic. What hard to believe in game number 38. The Flyers have allowed more than 1 goal in the first period for the very first time. They've allowed 20 first period goals all year, which is right up near the top of the NHL in first period stinginess. But the Oilers get a couple. The Flyers have to fight back. And they'll try right. Here's Couturier. Breaks in! Puck checked away by Brizgalov. Again, the puck was getting away from Couturier. But he gets the puck back. Deeks! Stop at the post. Stopped again by Brizgalov. Couturier just has to finish it. Brizgalov comes up, taking out all the other way. Taken off the puck by Timonen. Puck sent back toward the Cavalier out with Giroux and Voracek right now. They go offside at the Edmonton line.
A couple of prime opportunities for Sean Couturier to start this period. In all alone here, Brizgalov poke checks that puck away, and then Couturier in all alone here, and Brizgalov poke checks that puck away, and then Couturier finds himself wide open. Prime opportunities for Sean Couturier to start this period. In all alone, prime opportunities for Sean Couturier to start this period. In all alone here, and Brizgalov poke checks that puck away, and then Couturier finds himself wide open again, walks around him, and then tries to jam this puck in and can't get it past Brizgalov.
Another couple of inches right here. Right here. If he had just been able to get that puck a little bit more into the blue, see right there, he hits the actual side of the post. As I said, a couple inches.
By Brizgalov. And Giroux gets to Timonen. 17 seconds. Couturier, 3 scoring chances. Here's Timonen. Down low, Hall after it. Giroux after him. And the power play comes to an end as Voracek gets to the puck. So the Flyers back to full strength in this 2-0 hockey game. Ron backhands into the Philadelphia zone. Down is Lazzaros, and he'll get to Luke Schenn. Now the Flyers try to move it up the boards, but that's to be intercepted. Hemsky stepped into by Lazzaros, but the puck bounces to Nugent Hopkins. His pass for Hemsky is broken up. Voracek sends LeCavalier to center. LeCavalier out with Giroux and Voracek right now. They go offside at the Edmonton line.
Well, a couple of prime opportunities for Sean Couturier to start this period. In all alone here, and Brizgalov poke checks that puck away, and then Couturier finds himself wide open again, walks around him, and then tries to jam this puck in and can't get it past Brizgalov.
Another couple of inches right here. Right here. If he had just been able to get that puck a little bit more into the blue, see right there, he hits the actual side of the post. As I said, a couple inches away from beating Brizgalov after Brizgalov made a nice glove save, sprawled on the ice.
Yeah, maybe I'm wrong, but live it looked as though Couturier was starting to have trouble with the puck on the initial breakaway, and then was finished off in the poke check by Brizgalov. And again, the ice working so really quick ice here, and you got to adjust to it. Brizgalov. This is the second of those Couturier chances. Great glove save there, and then as Coatsy said, oh, so close.
Well, it's momentum. Carried him. as he was moving so quickly that all of a sudden he couldn't put the brakes on in time. He was trying to do everything in one motion, and he just couldn't do it.
I think sometimes you're shocked you're in alone like that. The first time, it's okay. The second time, it's like unbelievable that you're standing there again with no Oiler around you.
Brizgalov got it right now. They go offside at the Edmonton line.
Well, a couple of prime opportunities for Sean Couturier to start this period. In all alone here, Brizgalov hook checks that puck away, and then Couturier finds himself wide open again, walks around him, and then tries to jam this puck in and can't get it past Brizgalov.
Another couple of inches right here. Right here. If he had just been able to get that puck a little bit more into the blue. See right there, he hits the actual side of the post. As I said, a couple inches away from beating Brizgalov after Brizgalov made a nice glove save. Ball on the ice.
Maybe I'm wrong, but live it looked as though Couturier was starting to have trouble with the puck on the initial breakaway, and then was finished off with a poke check by Brizgalov. Again, the ice looking so really ice here. You got to adjust to it. This is the second of those Couturier chances. Great glove save there, and then goes to set. Oh, so
as he was moving so quickly that all of a sudden he couldn't put the brakes on.
Stops up, cross ice. Brower couldn't shoot. Russell stepped up and checked in. And here's Nugent Hopkins.
Upload to YouTube.
And Giordano got hold of the puck and threw it down the ice in the last half minute of this penalty to Dennis Weidman.
At the time, he was trying to do everything in one motion, and he just couldn't do it.
I think sometimes you're shocked you're in alone like that. The first time, it's okay. The second,
Brizgalov, and again, his ice off, being so finished off in the poke check by Brizgalov. And again, the ice looking so really quick ice here, and you got to adjust to it. Brizgalov. This is the second of those Couturier chances. Great glove save there, and then as Coach said, oh, so close.
Lost momentum, carried him. As he was moving so quickly that all of a sudden he couldn't put the brakes on in time. He was trying to do everything in one motion, and he just couldn't do it.
I think sometimes you're shocked you're in alone like that. The first time, it's okay. The second time, it's like I'm just
poke check. It's not should have been really a shot on goal. Yeah, he was so close. I think it's almost a shot, but because puck wasn't directed toward the net, Jones, I don't think they can give him a shot.
Right, but if he doesn't poke it, I think it's a goal, right?
Yeah.
And we've seen those go past him before, so.
Indeed. Being past him thus far tonight, Flyers with 12 shots on goal. He hasn't looked all that crisp at times, but he has made the save so far. You know he wants to have a big night here this evening.
The key is he's not a terrific athletic goaltender, so you want to get him moving. And the Flyers want to start testing him a little bit more here and not be turning pucks over in their own zone.
Yeah, they have done some of that in this game. Obviously, it has cost them, and it also means you're not spending time in the offensive zone. Out-of-town scores, upper right-hand corner of your screen. This is the only late game in the NHL on this Saturday night. Here's Voracek. Has the puck, get across the line. Raffl goes to the net. Voracek, shot save, rebound, Raffl! Took it back to Voracek in front. And Giroux falls as he took the shot, and it goes over the crossbar. They just can't seem to finish here this evening. They had Brizgalov dead to rights. Here's Voracek in again. Works it around behind. Goes to Schultz. They'll tip it free, and the Oilers look to move up now. Turnover. Here's Voracek. All down penalty.
Voracek really didn't realize that he had an open net and the opportunity to come from the right side of Brizgalov.
Flyers with the chemo. And now it's Jake. Voracek to Giroux. One touch shot. They score! Sharky scores! In front.
Leon Draisaitl running in front. And the Oilers regain the lead again.
And they have gotten a penalty kick. And finally, Saul Brizgalov defending that Edmonton net.
I think you're right about Simmons in the blue paint there in front of the net. It does change direction. Some good puck movement for the Flyers. Good patience as Voracek finds Giroux, and then the shot towards the net. It looks like Simmons may have got a piece of that blast from Giroux.
You get them going one way, and they go the opposite way.
pass.
Giroux,
The quick
facing the net. That's allowing them to have that one-timer. Remember we talked about each play? Brizgalov goes left to right, and Giroux goes right back where he came from to let the Flyers on the board. That's a nice pass. And a great shot.
A 5-year pro. Just about every time he gets close to being
giving the goal to Claude Giroux. And he may very well have it because Simmons. Cordetter giving the goal to Claude Giroux. And he may very well have it because Simmons' celebration wasn't. Now they're giving the goal to Simmons here at the arena. So I have to change that. But Wade Simmons has 8 goals in the last 3 games, 6 in his last 4. Now 5 games. So Wade Simmons is officially red hot.
He is, and he knew coming into this game that it would be his type of game against a goaltender like Brizgalov, and Flyers do some good work with the power play.
And I have to tell Wayne to celebrate more when he deflects that to let us know, right? There's Wayne Simmons. Stop. But Hart chop that one in the slot. Brady shot save, and the rebound tipped away from Wayne Simmons. And now the other way goes Gagne. Perron and into the Philadelphia zone. Giroux will get an assist on that, and he will now set himself a new career high for games with consecutive points. Voracek also should get an assist, and he'll set another career high. That's 9 in a row for Voracek, and now 8 games in a row for Giroux. Only Patrick Kane with longer point streak than those 2 individuals in the NHL. That puck goes into the Edmonton bench.
Take a look at that redirection by Wayne Simmons, and he does a real good job with his hand-eye coordination here. You'll see Simmons in front of 17, watch the stick right there. The puck drops immediately after the contact from Wayne Simmons.
Simmons is so good because he's a big, tall, gangly guy, and he'd be able to move people out, get in front of Brizgalov. Brizgalov had no clue where that puck was.
Here's Vinny Lecavalier. Flyers really forcing the action so far here in the second period. Lecavalier looking for some room. He's knocked off balance. He's trying to spin it down low and ends up back toward Nick Grossman and into the Philadelphia bench.
So a lot of early chances for the Flyers here in the second period, and Wayne Simmons breaks through. You can see goals in 3 consecutive games now, and the previous 2 he scored twice in each. So Wayne Simmons will be looking for that second one here against the Oilers.
I think you're seeing a little bit of a change in momentum here. The Flyers do a good job getting the puck.
Stu, he scored twice in each. So Wayne Simmons will be looking for that second one here against the Oilers.
I think you're seeing a little bit of a change in momentum here. The Flyers do a good job getting the puck into the offensive zone of
games.
The defensive Edmonton Oilers been doing a good job on the one-on-one battles.
They have all 5 scoring chances here in the second period to the Flyers.
Have holiday cash to spend? You still have time to get a Flyers Santa sack. Each pack includes an autograph puck, 2 tickets to a 2014 Flyers game, 4 Adirondack Phantoms tickets, and a time to get a Flyers Santa sack. Each pack includes an autograph puck, 2 tickets to a 2014 Flyers game, 4 Adirondack Phantoms tickets, and a stumble.
Yeah, he called it the year 2014, which it technically is, but most people will say 2014.
Oh, yeah. Well, what? Canadian.
The years are different up here? I didn't know that. I knew the temperature, Celsius and Fahrenheit and all that, but I didn't know it affected the calendar
it's like
year.
miles an hour and kilometers.
Oh, okay. All right. I never knew that. You learn something new every day hanging on with you, Mr. Jones. Here is Yakupov poking it out into the neutral zone area. It's swept into the zone. Flyers go back and get it. Adam Hall starts up. 24 hours ago. I don't think you would have expected Adam Hall to be able to play in this game. He really had a bad case of the flu, but Clausen, training staff, did a great job getting him his nutrition, getting him his rest, keeping him away from the other players as much as possible, and Adam Hall ready to go and play here tonight.
He and Braden Shen.
Yeah, Braden Shen also battling the flu. It was Petrie looking to spring a teammate, but the pass goes all the way down in on Mason. And ahead it goes. What a pass to Giroux. He gets to Voracek, and Voracek missed it wide. Maybe Brizgalov got a piece. That was Steve Mason's puck handling again, being a factor as it set up Voracek. Flyers not only getting scoring chances, they are 10 goal chances. Here's Voracek again off the wall of the puck. Voracek cuts it back. Ruffle shot is snared by Brizgalov as that one's second and on goal. All Flyers here early in the second. And they have some payoff courtesy of the Red Hot Wayne Simmons. His fifth in the last 3 games. Cut the deficit to 1. From all of us at Comcast Sportsnet, best wishes for the new year coming up.
And then Steve Mason with an outstanding play there. One of the better puck-moving goaltenders in the league. Voracek shot there. Brizgalov got a piece of that before it went wide of the net. And Voracek had a prime scoring chance taken away there with a nice save from Brizgalov.
Right idea, left-hand shot looking for that far corner, and he was cooking.
Face off now to Brizgalov's left. Flyers have all 5 shots taken here in the second period. And as mentioned earlier, all the scoring chances, and they have been some good ones. Well, some of their really good scorers, too, when you're talking about the Voracek. Giroux had one. Puck to the corner. Simmons, hidden by Petrie, and the puck cleared. Blake will turn back with it. Blake also been putting up the points lately, 5 in his last 5 games. Hartnell, and he hit that puck deep, couldn't it? 3, but now he's knocked down. He was able to disrupt Hemsky enough so he could not skate up ice with it. Simmons lost control as he tried to cut to the middle. And now it's Ryan Smith. And he'll lob one deep into the Philadelphia zone where the ice is almost clean right now. Hartnell misses that pass. Petrie's shot is blocked, and Braden Shen looking for the puck. Now finds Simmons. Hit across the line. Hartnell drives the net. Simmons takes the shot. Brizgalov to save, and no rebound as Hartnell knocks to always when by Mazaus. Knocked down by Brizgalov. Deflects out. Oh, Luke Shen really giving that one away. In fact, he does. Joensu's shot on the angle. Went wide. Mason had it covered. Shen ahead. LeCavier couldn't get it. Ferentz a shot. Save Mason. First one he's had to make here in the period. Now centering pass just out of the reach of Everly. You see a turnover by the Flyers, and this is what happens. The Oilers now get to go to work offensively. Everly back out to the point. Ferentz shot. That went wide. Nearly bounced out the other side. Joensu flips. Gagne's shot is blocked off. He gets it back. And now flips to Everly, who overskated. Now the referee right in the sight line of the Flyers there. Reed couldn't get it out. Gagne pass back to Everly. It's to Joensu. Joensu for Gagne. He was tightly marked by Reed, and now Couturier has the puck. Looking for LeCavier. Hit him in the back of the skate. Now Vinny ahead to Reed. Has to make the maneuver at the line, and the stop, so he decides on a second attempt to just fling it deep. Now Giroux spinning off the wall with it. Giroux with a shot, and it goes wide. All the way out to Coburn. Coburn trying to backhand it deeper, and does. Steve Downey to the puck. Downey out with Giroux and Raffle. As that puck comes to ice like Coburn, his shot blocked. Bounces free and is cleared out to center. Coburn will tip it back to Timonen.
Not seeing Voracek on the bench right now. We'll have to keep an eye on that.
There's Giroux, the pass, the shot. Coburn and Gallup knocked that one aside. Now Downey in the corner. He's checked by Perron. These are the battles Downey has to win, and he does. His pass goes all the way through. Shot Coburn. Gallup sprawls to make another save. And he's giving it to one of his teammates, David Perron, right there. He's checked by Perron. These are the battles Downey has to win, and he does. His pass goes all the way through. Shot Coburn. Gallup sprawls to make another save. And he's giving it to one of his teammates, David Perron, right there.
Some good puck movement there and some good heads-up plays from Steve Downey as he said there. Some good puck movement there and some good...
To one of his teammates, David Perron, right there.
Some good puck movement there and some good heads-up plays from Steve Downey as he sends this puck saucer pass across to Braden Coburn and fires it, and Brizgalov makes a nice glove save.
That one was cooking, let me tell you. Coburn, you see that? All of a sudden he got out and got the glove on it, but he was falling at the same time because Coburn came with the one-timer.
Something to say to David Perron. I was trying to figure out what Perron had to do with that play. I have to take another look at it. But Grizz, as we all know in Philadelphia, is not afraid to let his teammates know when he's not happy with something that happened in front of him.
Yeah, that was interesting there as his team's actually up by 1 here.
Here's an interception by Hall to Couturier. Couturier trying to get it back in front block. And Couturier takes it to the corner. Spins it off to Ronaldo. Ronaldo a shot. Save Brizgalov for heavy traffic. Hall then bumped into Brizgalov, but the puck went to the corner. And the other way with it. Or the Oilers, and Anton Lander will pump it deep into the Philadelphia zone and chase after it himself. It pops through to the quarter. Kasdick after it there. Now it kicks it to Yakupov. He's worked on by Ronaldo. Yakupov working hard there. Strike couldn't get it through Lander. Now it's back out toward the point, but Nick Schultz could not keep it in. Fell off to it. And now it's Schultz, long-time Minnesota Wild player, now in his third year with the Oilers. Grossman the hit, but can't find the puck. It was behind him. Like a roll free. Schultz jamming it back around behind. The Oilers able to get to it. And now that pass off the skate and out through center ice. Nick Schultz gets back to it. Not long enough now. Nick Schultz, he's fifth among active players in blocked shots. That one is cleared all the way down. And icing the call. Eagles face the Captain. That's a crack in the Roma.
Sometimes it looks easy, doesn't it?
Yeah. Beware of that. Here's Wayne Simmons again, causing trouble in the crease area. Diving play by Bradenshine to get the puck back to his brother. Luke's shot is blocked, though. And Ryan Smith able to clear it off his stick. A bouncing puck. Luke Shen will go across. Lazarus to Bradenshine. All kinds of room. Shen a shot. It's blocked. Now Hartnell did swing at it. It's back out to Mazzaros. Looking for a lane. Wrists one. And it's blocked in front. Simmons kept it alive, but Hartnell could not get to it. Now it's Mazzaros across. Luke Shen, not a lot of room to work with. Flips it wide. Simmons tried to center. It's blocked. And a penalty. Ron had the puck, so it's got to be on Edmonton. Or the referee had to think about the penalty. We'll tell you about it when we come back.
Penalty box for the Edmonton Oilers. He'll pick up an elbowing call, but let's take a look at our Wells Fargo. Great check of the game. It's Jesse Uensu, the former New York Islander. He's a big boy, 6'4", 207 pounds, but he's going to take on a guy named Nick Grossman, who's 6'4", 230 pounds, and that is positioning. He had good balance and caught Nick Grossman right up against the wall. That's our Wells Fargo. Great check of the game.
Uensu signed as a free agent by the Oilers, away from the Islanders. Flyers now go on to power play, as Coatsy mentioned. They're thrown in the box for elbowing, and so the Flyers with their second man advantage. They wasted no time in going to work with their first power play and getting their only goal of this game, but unable to win that draw. And Boyd Gordon was the top penalty killers for the Oilers, takes the puck all the way down. Keeping it a Boyd check on the post. Cardinal, Giroux, and Simmons up front. One more lining for the Flyers. And as the pass goes ahead to Boyd check. Pass is intercepted. And it's all the way down. Upset with himself after that pass. Head down now. Flyers will try again. Giroux, lots of room. Softly plays it in. Voracek after it. Now Hartnell gets there. His pass squeezes through to Giroux. Back out, Keeman, and shot. Blocked in front. Hartnell gets it back to Giroux. Simmons side of the net. Holds, waits, fires, save. Brizgalov, he held his ground. Puck pops loose. Simmons kicks it out of his skates. Looks to make a play. Finds Giroux. Giroux waiting for Hartnell. His pass deflects through in front. Simmons tips it home. He scores. Simmons kicks it out of his skates. Hartnell gets it back to Giroux. Simmons side of the net. Holds, waits, fires, save. Brizgalov, he held his ground. Puck pops loose. Simmons kicks it out of his skates. Looks to make a play. Finds Giroux. Giroux waiting for Hartnell. His pass deflects through in front. Simmons. Brizgalov, he held his ground. Puck pops loose. Simmons kicks it out of his skates. Looks to make a play. Finds Giroux. Giroux waiting for Hartnell. His pass deflects through in front. Simmons tips it home.
We talked about
Wayne, some outstanding. The pointer who went.
He's going to go east-west, and Brizgalov is told that pass will come right back across at the same time. He's going to go east-west, and
Flyers stays there and does the fly. Flies away for Kachuk. Back and get it. And it's Brizgalov ridden into the boards over there by the rookie Marinch, and now they flip one, and it's Brizgalov loving that. They'll hang on. Go back and get it. He's ridden into the boards over there by the rookie. Go back and get it. He's ridden into the boards over there by the rookie Marinch, and now they flip one, and it's Brizgalov loving that. And they'll hang on. So there he is, Wayne Simmons. 6 goals in his last 3 games. 7 in his last 5. Before this 5-game point streak, he had 5 goals on the year. He'd gone 10 straight games without a goal. Now he's the club leader in goals by 2. He scored 7 in 5 games.
It's amazing what confidence does. Right? You know, a lot of coaches talking about winning breeds confidence. Well, scoring goals breeds confidence for goal scorers, and Wayne Simmons has proven that in his time with the Flyers that he can be one of the top goal scorers on the club.
And he deserves it because through thick and thin, good times and bad times this season, he never stopped. He was one of the more aggressive guys. He communicated. He was up and down, yelling and screaming to get things going. He was always very aggressive.
Nugent Hopkins has checked the Flyers steamroll back. It's forward check on the beeline to the neutral zone. Lost control though at the line, and Perron takes over. Pass to Petrie. Looking to get it ahead to Hall, who gets behind Coburn. His angle shot is smothered by Mason. Only the second shot 10 goal behind Coburn. His angle shot smothered by Mason. Only the second shot on goal to period.
Tip it home. And he's got goals for. Yes. Break Kajura. Makes it 4-3 for the Oilers. Oilers leading for the third time this hockey game.
For the Oilers. Another turn by Mason, only the second shot on goal of the period for the Oilers.
This is almost a bad read by Larson. He gets caught flat-footed, allows his man to go through, but what a play by Russell breaking it up. Quick transition game, and sometimes simpler is better. This is a simple play where you're looking for pass all the way, and instead of making the pass, the quick release gets under the arm of Elliott. For Elliott, a disappointing start. This one goes right underneath. He overplayed it to the outside, and he found room underneath the elbow.
Tyler Pitlick's been a 5-year pro. That's just about every time he gets close to being a regular, he's been hurt. And he's in this opening.
And he gathers the puck to stop play.
What a great play by Ronaldo. He's going to drag that puck. He's drawing some attention right here. But Ronaldo's a great skater. We all know about that. But watch as he spins right here. Holds on. And then what a great pass to Adam Hall. He's a running shot. Facing it despite having an every trial right in front of him.
Yeah, both Downey and Ronaldo threw good body checks just prior to that nice pass from Ronaldo, and Brizgalov came up with a save on Adam Hall.
Adam Hall bidding for his first ever goal against the Oilers in his 17th career game against them. Denied by veteran goaltender. That puck comes back in on Brizgalov from his teammate. He's able to cover up, and then Wayne Simmons gets involved in front. Wouldn't blame the Oilers if they would try to take Simmons off the ice with a penalty. Get him off the ice where he can't do any damage.
Yeah, and it's the captain, Andrew Ferentz, that's quick to get there. The former Boston Bruin who knows how to play the game. And he's the first one to react and get after Simmons as he poked away at that loose puck in around the feet of Brizgalov.
Flyers win the draw. Gonzalez got it deep, but the Oilers gained control and played right back out to center. Gonzalez breaks that up. Now Simmons backhands ahead. Hartnell could not maneuver ahead. Hensky got it as far as Luke Schenn. He finds his brother. And Braden will dump that puck in. And as he'll head in on the forecheck, Brizgalov took his time playing that puck, and Schenn nearly came up with it. Now it's Ryan Smith. And he'll dump it out to the neutral zone. Luke Schenn could not get it past Boyd Gordon. Gordon in across the line. Checked by Schenn behind the net. Gonzalez trying to pin his man Hensky. Hensky gets it back out to Petrie. Petrie floating one. It bounces off a couple players. All the way out to Braden Schenn, who could not get it out of the zone as the Oilers got to him. And now Gonzalez fishes the puck out of the pile. Hartnell will pop it out to the neutral zone. Simmons will play it into Edmonton ice. We take down to 5 minutes remaining in this second period. Schenn broke up the players looking to stop the Flyers back the other way, but couldn't get it through. Now the pass for Giroux. Giroux still after it, but it's poked to the quarter boards by Nick Schultz. They drop it back to Petrie. And Voracek tips. Timonen gathers. Came in for Giroux, high slot off to Coburn. Coburn's shot deflected and went to the quarter boards. Now Raffle after it. Finds Voracek. Voracek looking, spinning. Gagne marking him, but Voracek is on the speed now as he moves behind the net. Still has it. Voracek finally grabbed by Petrie, but still Voracek found Giroux. Right back to Voracek. Sent it for Raffle. Couldn't one time if Giroux gets it back out near the line. Soft pass into Coburn, back out for Giroux, and he was breaking toward the net. And so he's going to have to go back and retrieve the puck.
Boy, Jake Voracek just did a great job below the goal line here. He had lost it, he got it back. He lost it, he got it back, and did a great job of fighting off a couple of Edmonton Oilers defenders.
Flyers completing a change now as Giroux gets off the ice. Oilers surge through. It's all offside. That poke check by Cole.
They get down low.
Goes on the year. Back. Really want to let the head. Important 3:45 here. That's icing on them going. And you do the thing. 57 their third period goals. That's the most of the NHL. So the Flyers can perhaps add it up total once the third gets here. But now they want to finish this second period in strong fashion. Grossman checked. Pass into the middle. Tips back. Shot! And that one hit Grossman and went down. He blocked that shot from Marincin. And the other way, it's Couturier. Nielsen. Cavalier, who can't handle the puck. And now Couturier will wind it in. Fell off. They remember him from the meeting these teams had in November. And that high hit on Giroux. Not a match penalty. That's right. Was not suspended for that hit. He does like to throw his weight around. Over to the KHL, moves the puck to Hall. Taylor Hall, boy, he's getting to the point now where every time he touches the puck, you think he's very dangerous. Giroux gets that back to Coburn, and now off forecheck into the Edmonton zone. Perron goes back for it. Chopped it along the wall. Lynch and tied up forecheck. They say legally, and so the other way. Go the Oilers with speed. Nugent Hopkins whipped away at the last moment. Perron centering, and there's Hall. These two out on the ice. There is a lot of speed. Now Raffle. Yeah, he didn't get that puck in, but he gets help. Mazaros carries on. Mazaros to the slot. Shot, and it went wide. Out the other side, Perron is checked, but it will drift to the neutral zone. Becoming a 3-on-2 here. Flyers need to get back. The pass to Hall. Hall in front. Mason the save. Now it's sticking in the glove. Mason coming up huge right there on Justin Schultz. Now it's Luke Schenn, the shot off the glove of Brizgalov. Center back out in front. Here's Ronaldo, and that shot off a stick and then the glass, and then the safety netting. Got in front on Justin Schultz. Now it's Luke Schenn, the shot off the glove of Brizgalov. Center back out in front. Here's Ronaldo, and that shot off the stick and then the glass.
Zach Cassian, short-range goal. It's a 5-3 Oilers.
And then the safety netting.
Outstanding job by Steve Mason. The Oilers starting to buzz a little bit here in the latter stages of this second period.
Play by Russell breaking it up. Quick transition.
Period, and Mason comes up with two big saves on the Oiler defenseman that jumps in here. Justin Schultz first shot, and he stayed with it. Not sure if he tapped that second one or not, but Mason was there to close the door.
This one goes right underneath. Well, I tell you what, that looked like it was coming right through the 5-hole. If you look behind Mason, but look at Mason spread out. He's such a big man.
Just about every time
There's
he gets
Ryan Smith clearing the zone for Edmonton. 1:45 remaining in this period. Shot 14. Victoria in favor of Philadelphia. Two have gone in. The race goes at 2-0 Edmonton. But as Jonesy mentioned, the Oilers beginning to assert themselves here late in the period, and they're using their speed to do it. That's not a surprise. Now the Flyers have it. Mark Straight. 3-on-2 developing. Straight up the left wing. Straight fumbled the puck. And now just jammed it deep to Braden Schenn. Braden Schenn trying to get it back out, but that's knocked aside. And it's Boyd Gordon moving back with it. Pump it into the Philadelphia zone. Cut off quickly. Pass ahead from Timonen off Simmons in on Brizgalov. And Braden Schenn's going to force Briz to cover up. 61 seconds remaining in the period.
Heads up play by Wayne Simmons. Just chipped that puck in the zone after Braden Schenn tried to force a play just prior to that.
Well, let's take a look at our Independence Blue Cross fearless play of the game. Watch Dick Grossman. Right here, the shot's going to cover the point, and oh my goodness, sometimes right there, he just absolutely dove. That is why that's our fearless play of the game.
Yeah, got it in his shoulder, it appeared. Here is Reed. Reed for Cavalier, and he did not come up with the puck.
5 goals.
Yeah, but not out here. He kept it in momentarily, but now it bounces to Gagne. Gagne will flutter one toward Mason. That had a lot of spin on it. He is able to handle it. Now Timonen written into the boards. The Oilers get the puck. He went to centering. A reach there by Cavalier broke it up, and now Everly won the puck. Everly, an angled shot is blocked. Coburn trying to get to it. Philadelphia fans on the clear. And the puck off with Cavalier and not out of the zone. Now it is Timonen. He'll try the glass and will clear. Petrie has it there, and he'll drop it back. Nick Schultz, and that hits Hall. He's already into the zone, so it's offside. The faceoff. This come back. Petrie has it there, and he'll drop it back. Nick Schultz, and that hits Hall. He's already into the zone, so it's offside. The faceoff. This come back. The blue line of Edmonton.
Well, the Flyers return home on January the 8th to take on Montreal, and you can catch the game from a premium lower-level seat. Get access to a private bar, wait service, and restrooms. Call 215-389-9500 now for the latest special offers. On Montreal, and you can catch the game from a premium lower-level seat. Get access to a private bar, wait service, and restrooms. Call 215-389-9500 now for the latest special offers.
14 seconds remaining in the period. Zara sends one in from center. So it's off. Special face-off. This come back. Shoots.
Well, the Flyers return home on January the 8th to take on Montreal, and you can catch the game from a premium lower-level seat.
0% penalty score.
2.1 seconds left on the second period clock. 6-2 Oilers.
Another turnover. Tyler Pitlick takes it. Get access to a Montreal, and you can catch the game from a premium lower-level seat. Get access to a private bar, wait service, and restrooms. Call 215-389-9500 now for the latest special offers.
14 seconds remaining. Draw with 3 seconds.
Probably by a disappointing start. This one goes right underneath the over. Well, the Flyers return home on January the 8th to take on Montreal, and you can catch the game from a premium lower-level seat. Get access to a private bar, wait service, and restrooms. Call 215-389-9500 now for the latest special offers.
Taking advantage of it.
Some real hunger in around the feet of Brizgalov there. The shot by Voracek, and Hartnell digging away. Really wanted that loose puck, but he couldn't steal it away from Brizgalov after the nice puck movement there, and you can see Hartnell digging at it.
Drew's directing traffic right here. Gets his hand up. Wants everybody to move around a little bit. And then Drew's going to get that puck. Eventually comes over to Voracek. His left-hand shot looking for the one-timer. And directing traffic right here. Gets his hand up. Wants everybody to move around a little bit. And then Drew's going to get that puck. Eventually comes over to Voracek. His left-hand shot looking for the one-timer.
Brizgalov after the nice puck movement there, and you can see Hartnell digging at it.
Drew's directing traffic right here. Gets his hand up. Wants everybody to move around. Drew's directing traffic right here. Gets his hand up. Wants everybody to move around. Drew's directing traffic right here. Gets his hand up. Wants everybody to move around a little bit. And then Drew's going to get that puck. Eventually comes over to Voracek. His left-hand shot looking for the one.
From Brizgalov after. Loose puck, but he couldn't steal it away by Voracek, and Hartnell digging away. Really wanted that loose puck, but he couldn't steal it away from Brizgalov after the nice puck movement there, and you can see Hartnell digging at it. Voracek and Hartnell digging away. Really wanted that loose puck, but he couldn't steal it away from Brizgalov after the nice puck movement there, and you can see Hartnell digging at it.
Drew's directing traffic right here. Gets his hand up. Wants everybody to move around a little bit. And then
Brizgalov after the nice puck movement there, and you can see.
Edmonton full scored in large hot. 0% penalty score.
You can see Hartnell digging at it.
Drew's directing traffic right here. Gets his hand up. Wants everybody to move around a little bit. And then Drew's going to get that puck. Eventually comes over to Voracek. His left-hand shot looking for the one-timer. Drew's directing traffic right here. Gets his hand up. Wants everybody to move around a little bit. And then Drew's going to get that puck. Eventually comes over to Voracek. His left-hand shot looking for the one-timer. Drew's directing.
Brizgalov after the nice puck movement there, and you can see Hartnell digging at it.
Drew's directing traffic right here. Gets his hand up. Wants everybody to move around a little bit. And then Drew's going to get that puck. Eventually comes over to Voracek. His left-hand shot to move around a little bit. And then Drew's traffic right here. Gets his hand up, wants everybody to move around a little bit, and then Drew's going to get that puck. Eventually comes over to Voracek, his left hand.
Voracek steals it. The period has come to a close. A good period for the Flyers. Wayne Simmons tallies twice. As the Flyers get back even. It's 2-2 through 40. Tonight's Flyers Oilers second period was brought to you by Kia. To learn more, visit Kia.com. And by the Pennsylvania Lottery, tonight's Powerball jackpot now has an estimated annuity of $40 million. So play today. Pennsylvania Lottery proceeds benefit older Pennsylvanians. Players must be 18 years or older. Let's go downstairs, Coatsy. That's a chat with Jake Voracek, who has two helpers here tonight.
Thanks very much, Jimmy. And Jake, two different periods. The first period looked like you had been off a few days.
YouTube compliment NHL December 28/2013 for 0% Liberty School.
Oilers got two in the first, Flyers two in the second. Here are Sugar House Casino second period statistics.
Yeah, the shots, the big advantage to the Philadelphia Flyers. Edmonton just 3 shots on goal in that second period. Flyers dominating the offensive chances and the hits as well, as Luke Schenn has 5 of the Flyers' 22 through 2 periods.
The second period scoring summary. Wayne Simmons, of course, getting the 2 goals in that second period. Voracek had 2 helpers. As the 2 points of the Flyers get the 2 goals to tie this one up. Voracek extending his point streak to 9 games, Giroux to 8. GMC NHL update, New Jersey and the Islanders. That's Adam Henrique giving the Devils a 1-0 lead. Islanders tied it at 1 and then won it. The Devils did on this goal. Travis Zajac, talk about a painful way to win a hockey game. Takes that shot, I'm not sure if it was in the face or in the neck area, but it wound up in the net. And so Zajac has himself the game-winning goal, and the Devils jump, at least for now, past the Flyers in the Metropolitan Division standing.
Yeah, we're going to look at Wayne Simmons, of course, scoring both goals in the second period. On that man, Ilya Bryzgalov, who has made some big saves in this game. Flyers had a bunch of A-quality chances. Steve Mason tested late in that period after not seeing many pucks. For the first 15 minutes, he did have to make a difficult save on Justin Schultz, who jumped in from the Oilers' blue line. Looking to try to get the lead back in Edmonton's favor.
So it comes down to this third period. Either team wins this third period, they win the hockey game as we come away from Rexall Place, Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. First of 6th grade on the road. This is shot by Striker and White. Lecavalier tries to tuck it in. Bryzgalov trying to hold the post. The puck pops free behind the net. And now back out to Strike. Strike looking for a seam. Didn't have one. Gave it to Grossman. Grossman hit Reed in the midsection with that pass, and now it's tipped away, and the Oilers move up. Uensu, and across the line. Uensu, the shot and the save by Nason. Puck boxes in the air into the slot. Reed did not play it. Lecavalier again did not come up with it, but it's sent back into the Philadelphia zone by Nick Schultz. Oilers had to clear the zone, and they'll end up going a line change here. And the Flyers to move back. Voracek to Giroux with speed. Giroux the shot, and that one takes off as Bryzgalov was ducking out of the way. Raffle down behind the net to Voracek. In front, tackle for Giroux. Penalty. And the Flyers 2 for 2. Voracek on the front of NHL. There's Simmons on the dasher out to Voracek. Flyers 2 for 2 here tonight in their road power play for the season now, almost 25%. Up in the top 5 of the NHL. Here's Simmons looking for Hartnell. It goes back through to Timonen. Now it's Giroux. Directing traffic, goes across to Voracek, who fires. Save Bryzgalov. Hartnell trying to keep the puck alive. But traffic goes across to Voracek, who fires. Save Bryzgalov. Hartnell trying to keep the puck alive. But Bryzgalov knocks it down. Connor McDavid. 6-3 Oilers.
Hunger around the feet of
Bryzgalov melts it down.
Some real hunger around the feet of Bryzgalov there. The shot by Voracek and Hartnell digging away. Really wanted that loose puck, but he couldn't steal it away from Brizgalov after the nice puck movement there. And you can see Hartnell digging at it.
Drew's directing traffic right here. Gets his hand up. Wants everybody to move around a little bit. And Drew's gonna get that puck. Eventually comes over to Voracek. His left-hand shot looking for the one-timer.
Brizgalov after the nice puck movement there. And you can see Hartnell digging at it.
Drew's directing traffic right here. Gets his hand up. Wants everybody to move around a little bit. And Drew's gonna get that puck. Eventually comes over.
Brizgalov there. And you can see Hartnell digging at it.
Drew's directing traffic.
After the nice puck movement there, and you can see Hartnell digging at it.
Drew's directing traffic right here. Gets his hand up. Wants everybody to move around a little bit. And Drew's gonna get that puck. Eventually comes over to Voracek. His left-hand shot looking for the one-timer.
After digging away, a hunger in around the feet of Brizgalov there. The shot by Voracek, and Hartnell digging away. Really wanted that loose puck, but he couldn't steal it away from Brizgalov after the nice puck movement there, and you can see Hartnell digging at it.
Drew's directing traffic right here. Gets his hand up. Wants everybody to move around a little bit. And then Drew's gonna get that puck. Eventually comes over to Voracek. His left-hand shot looking for the one-timer. Drew's
Brizgalov after the nice puck movement there, and you can see Hartnell digging at it.
Drew's directing traffic right here. Gets his hand up. Wants everybody to move around a little bit. And then Drew's gonna get that puck here. Gets his hand up. Wants everybody to move around a little bit. And then Drew's gonna get that puck. Eventually comes over to Voracek. His left-hand shot looking for the one-timer.
And Hartnell, some real hunger in around the feet of Brizgalov there to steal the shot. Steal it away from Brizgalov after the nice puck movement there, and you can see Hartnell digging at it.
Drew's directing traffic right here. Gets his hand up. Wants everybody to move around a little bit. And then Drew's gonna get that puck. Eventually comes over to Voracek. His left-hand shot looking for the one-timer. Drew's directing traffic right here. Gets his hand up.
Edmonton goal scored. 0. Edmonton any.
That loose puck, but he couldn't steal it away from Brizgalov after the nice puck movement there, and you can see Hartnell digging at it.
Drew's directing traffic right here. Gets his hand up. Wants everybody to move around a little bit. And then Drew's gonna get that puck. Eventually comes over to Voracek. His left-hand shot looking for the one-timer.
Brizgalov after the nice puck movement there, and you can see Hartnell digging at it.
Drew's directing traffic right here. Gets his hand. Comes over to there.
They're set up again. Giroux to Timonen. Sends one toward the net, but it's blocked by Gordon and clear. 1:17 remaining on the power play. Look at the McDonald's power play payoff contested. Giroux hits Voracek. Left wing dish. Hartnell turns back with it. Gives it to Voracek right at the line. They set up. Hartnell high slot. Now off Simmons and wide. Simmons nearly at his third of the night. Now here is Giroux. Back out to Voracek. And now Giroux again. A passive penalty killing by the Oilers. They're packed in the box. Here's Simmons down low, looking to center. Loose puck. Timonen kept it alive. It squeezes through to the corner. Now Giroux again. As a look, Voracek sneaking in the back door. Giroux's pass deflects, and now Voracek gets to it. Has to turn away from Perron, who almost hooked him, and now Voracek getting it to Timonen across for Giroux. Back for Voracek, didn't get all that one-timer. Simmons to the puck, recaptures. Simmons to the point, Timonen. Across Voracek. Waiting, firing, and that one went wide, and that's going to make its way all the way out to the neutral zone. Just 10 seconds remain on the power play. One last bit for the Flyers with it. Giroux, checked by Hall. Hartnell tries to carry on. Fell off to the puck. Out of the box, dumps Petrie. Oilers back to full strength. They've killed off the Philadelphia power play for the first time tonight. Hall to Petrie. And the defenseman will turn back with it. 3 minutes and 20 seconds into this third period. Everly moves up, hits it in. Dangerous trio out for the Oilers. Everly, Nugent Hopkins, and Hall. There's Hall. Centering. That one goes all the way back out. Petrie shot wide. Downey to the puck. And his pass is tipped back. That's a turnover. Nugent Hopkins in across the line to Hall. Now Nugent Hopkins looking for it, but he couldn't come up with it. The Flyers get to it. Strike. Ahead for Raffl. Raffl will pitch it into the Edmonton zone and chase himself. He'll be the first to the puck. And he gets to it with some room now as he looks in front. Nobody there. Turns, changes direction, knocked down. Gets back up, punts it to Simmons. Simmons right back to Raffl. Raffl will track it down in the corner and then get it back to Simmons. Simmons for Hall. It's loose. Hall gets it back to Simmons. Turning with it. Now Wayne Simmons looks in the slot. That one's out of the reach of Raffl. Grossman to an angle shot. And that one taken by Brizgalov chest high. Out of the reach.
Some line juggling here for Craig Berube after that power play. Simmons jumps on the ice with Adam Hall. And those guys go to work down low in the offensive zone. And Chief doing a nice job of keeping everybody involved here in the first game after the Christmas break.
All final scores now, upper right-hand corner of your screen. Montreal is in a shootout. 2 and 3 teams in the Atlantic Division. Detroit in that mix as well. New Jersey wins the game. We showed you the highlights. How about that one? St. Louis beats Chicago in a shootout. Nashville over Los Angeles. Anaheim beats Phoenix 3-2 in overtime. The Ducks continue to win at home.
Amazing. They've been remarkable this year under Bruce Boudreau. Outstanding. It's Saku Koivu who won it in overtime.
To an angle, turning with it. Now Wayne Simmons looks in the slot. That one out of the reach of Raffl. Grossman to an angle shot. And that one taken by Brizgalov chest high, and he hangs on. Back to Simmons, turning with it. Now Wayne Simmons looks in the slot. That one out of the reach of Raffl. Grossman to an angle shot. And that one taken by Brizgalov chest high.
0% vertically score.
Or a pass it for within 12. Another turnover. Line juggling here for Craig Berube after that power play. Simmons jumps on the ice with Adam Hall. And those guys go to work down low in the offensive zone. Chiefs doing a nice job of keeping everybody involved here in the first game after the Christmas break.
All final scores now, upper right-hand corner of your screen. Montreal is in a shootout. 2 and 3 teams in the Atlantic Division.
A disappointing start. This one goes right underneath. He overplayed it to the outside, and it found room underneath the elbow.
St. Louis.
Tyler Pitlick's been a 5-year pro, and just about every time he gets close to being a regular, he's been hurt. And he's in this opening night lineup to get the first boot.
There are some teams that have some long. There's Simmons' a shot, batted away.
December 2013.
Ronaldo shot goes wide. Kentucky beat in. Gonzalez back. And the Ducks have been good at home all year. Home ice advantage is important. Flyers now having to show they can win on the road as they take part in this 6-game swing.
The Flyers Lions Carnival is less than a month away, and this is your chance to meet your favorite Flyers. Get tickets at flyerscarnival.com and plan to experience the Carnival on January 26th at the Wells Fargo Center. Not far away at all.
That's going to be a penalty. Offensive zone penalty. Daniel Cavalier will go to the box. He doesn't like the call, but the Oilers will get the mad advantage.
Beloff made sure that the referee got a look at that as Cavalier was working hard to try to get that loose puck in behind the net. And
Philadelphia Flyers number 40.
With the help of a little bit of embellishment.
They move up. Justin Schultz will wind it in. Coburn beat Jacopa to the puck. Team it in. Well, Couturier turning with it. Tries the other side of the ice, but Hemsky read that. A good job by Reed to get there and chop it down the ice. Brizgalov waving Schultz back. Hospital. Like that.
It's become a coach, I guess.
He is entertaining to watch. Schultz will send it in. It bounces toward the quarter. Team it in there first to Coburn. Then Coburn will whistle that one all the way down.
See what Briz has in mind here for the club.
This time just a setup.
Yeah.
His buddy Braun has it. Braun to the Philadelphia line. Off and on Green Hall. Hall looks in the middle and drops. No, tried to drop back. Was hit by Wichsen. Bounces behind the net instead. Now Raffl turned it over. Bounces out in front. And the Oilers get it back. Flyers sort of out of sorts now to get their positions back. They do on the kill. And here's Hall. Forced by Raffl. Still got it to Petrie. Back to Hall. In the slot. Shot! And that hit Pipe. That hit Pipe. Perhaps off of Mason and then Pipe as Gagne took the shot, but definitely caught iron at some point. Here's Hall. Taking the return feed. And then turning back with it to Everett. To Petrie. Gagne, Everly, and Petrie with room. Fires blocked by Raffle. And now Grossman after it. Bounces free to the other side. Still 13 seconds remain in the power play. Hall. Everly. Smith's pass back to Everly. They will get away from Raffle. They center it. That shot tip bounces high in the air. Oh, Mason got his arm on that, and then it went off the top of the net. Here's Hall turning with it, trying to center. Deflects back out, but kept in his zone. Petrie shot off the post again. And now the Flyers have chances. LeCavier plays it down the ice, but he's not going to be able to beat Petrie to it. As Ferentz comes over and gives him some help. So the post helping the Flyers not once but twice, and another shot landed on top of the net.
Mason would tell you he had the angle played perfectly. That was the only place that the puck could hit. But two prime opportunities for the Edmonton Oilers and some good puck luck for the Flyers.
Voracek to Giroux, the shot, and that one took off. Now Hemsky. And that one, and he's got his man moving up. And that's Lander with a shot. Save Mason, big rebound. Gonzalez is there, but he turns into some traffic, and now the Oilers get the puck again out in front. Gordon. And play after it, couldn't get it on goal. Giroux. Or Voracek, batting at it, not moving it through center. Lander will get it back into the Philadelphia zone. Check that Ferentz. And it's strike back for Philadelphia to Grossman. Grossman ahead to Giroux. Giroux looks across ice and gets Strike. Strike hustling the puck into the zone. Centered! And batting at it with Simmons, but it went on through. Joensuu takes a big hit from Hartnell as he clears the puck across ice and is dumped back in. 8 minutes into this third period. Flyers have outshot the Oilers 30-13 for the game, but we're tied where it matters. 2-2. Belloff, up the wall. Timonen pitches, they get it past him. Gagne with the puck, chips it, off Shendy Joensuu. Fires it high and wide. Now the puck ahead, tipped, bouncing around. Flyers can't clear it. Now it goes out to center, brought back in by Simmons, and Coburn gains control. And nearly turned that one over, Coatsy.
Yeah, and they've got to start slowing down the Oilers. They're going out again like they did the first.
There's Perron dancing to the slot. Richard Hopkins turns with it. Shen rides it into the quarter board. Joensuu barrels into the pile. Shen drags his man down. That could have been called. No arms went up. And the Flyers cleared the zone.
Craig Murphy still has his timeout available if he wants to slow this game down a little bit. The Oilers do have their skating legs going again here in the third period.
Especially these guys. Hall surging in. The pass to Everly. Back in front. It goes wide. Now it's Couturier to Downey. Downey gains the line. Downey with a shot. Batted away by Briscoe. Then off of Reed and wide. Reed gets to it. Reed turns it back down low. Downey can't catch up to it. He's going to have to try to go after it in the corner. But first there is Petrie and then off of Couturier.
Holiday from all of us.
23 remaining in the third.
Happy holidays from all of us at Comcast Sportsnet as we take a look at Wayne Simmons. He was a hero in the second period. He was first start for sure, as he's going to be able to get the Flyers on the board. They trailed 2-0. Then all of a sudden, where is he? Oh yeah, in front of the net as he redirects his shot from Giroux, and bang, it's a 2-1 hockey game. Then look at his positioning here. Gets a great pass from Jake Voracek, and that makes it 2-2. And Wayne Simmons has been spectacular in this one.
Yeah, it puts him in some elite company for the Flyers. As that shot by Timonen goes wide. Ferentz with the puck here. Ferentz, by the way, and his sister earlier in this game picked up his 200th NHL point, the veteran defenseman. Mason will set the puck up here. Coburn around for Voracek. Nice redirection pass to Giroux, but he's stopped by Perron. Perron has the puck back, and his pass is to Gagne. The right wing feed for Joensuu. Lines up deep in the Philadelphia zone. Mason quickly to Grossman. Grossman for Voracek. Voracek cross ice on the money. Raffle going wide to the left wing and then flips one, but that ends up out of play off a deflection. The elite company we're talking about, well, only 4 times in Flyers history has a player scored 2 or more goals in 3 consecutive games. Wayne Simmons is now one of the 4 unbeaten. Archie did it twice. Ross Lonsberry back in 1976, but obviously the last time it was 1981, so you're talking 32 years later, Wayne Simmons has done it.
It's amazing, isn't it? Look at John LeClair. You think of Brian Propp over the years, Tim Kerr.
John LeClair.
It's huge.
It's amazing, that number. And you know what? That's some pretty good company.
Flyers working the puck down with Braden Shen trying to center it, but bounces away now. Couturier worked on by Boyd Gordon. We get away from him. Backhands it through and off of Petrie out to Grossman. He'll fire it wide on purpose. Trying to bank it in was Couturier, but Brizgalov able to hold the post. And Strite has to go back and get it. Takes it all the way out. Shen, touch pass, Reed. Reed in the left wing for the shot, the flex. Has to get it back, but can't come up with it. Hemsky the other way. Now 30 years of age. Hemsky, very talented player. Mason decides to cover up.
The Oil Bulls have been able to record the shots.
Flyers come up with the puck here. And it's LeCavalier moving through center. Slows down at the blue line and his team.
Mason.
Penalty coming up. I thought Gunther was going down on his own. You are as a goalie, it certainly gives you an advantage. Guentzu. Penalty coming up. I thought Guentzu was going down on his own, but Timonen fell on top of him. He's going to end up with a holding call, and the Flyers will be short-handed here.
It's the reason there's so many hits from behind, because defensemen are forced to keep two hands on their stick, and that's a problem here. Kimo's got one, and the stick is up underneath.
Guentzu, the problem there.
There'd be less injuries if we kept that part in the game, but unfortunately for Kimo Timonen, it's not. The ref makes the right call. The Flyers have to kill this one off.
Boy, you hit that one right on the head and gazed the ball. That's what you did. You grabbed, just moved your hand a little bit in front. You lifted the guy up and kind of drove him right up against the wall. He might be a little bit too far away there, but the bottom line is it was a penalty.
Fifth power play for the Oilers. Their second one here in the third period. And
just moved your hand a little bit in front. You lifted the guy up and kind of drove him right up against the wall. He might be a little bit too far away there, but the bottom line is the first penalty, and there was a penalty for the Oilers.
Fifth power play for the Oilers. Their second one here in the third period.
And Chris Russell just got tripped. And you got Lucic. He's a veteran guy, but he knows that he has to get physical, so he tries to let go. And you mentioned a young player trying to make his mark in the National Hockey League. That timing there, and Russell turned around with the reverse pass, and Tkachuk didn't lay up in time. So the first penalty and an early opportunity for the Oilers to get this crowd back on their feet.
Power Play is brought to you by BioSteel Sports Nutrition, the natural choice for everyday performance. Drink the pink. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins starts on the power play. McDavid is to his left. Maroon to his right. There's a shot from the point.
Second one here in the third period. And again, we repeat that stat. The Oilers have allowed 8 shorthanded goals. So Flyers look for their chances. They certainly had a couple earlier in this game.
And still 4 forwards on this Oilers power play as they're looking for the offense and not worried about the defense.
The puck sent wide. Grossman could not clear. Kept in. The Oilers win the race for the puck as Hall gets there. Hall to Nugent-Hopkins. Now Everly had a little trouble controlling. He's got it now. Back to Nugent-Hopkins. And he'll get it to the point. Weston Schultz. Back to Nugent-Hopkins down low. Hall in front. Perron. Love the shot. He had net. And he's been hot. He's the leading goal scorer for the Oilers. Everly, side of the net, Perron, across it goes in. Off of Nick. He had nets. And he'll get it to the point. Weston Schultz, back to Nugent-Hopkins down low, in front, Perron, love the shot. He had net. And he's been hot. He's the leading goal scorer for the Oilers. Everly, side of the net, Perron, been hot. He's the leading. Perron, love the shot. He had net. And he's been hot.
Oh, great inside
cross. Have 70 trail in the lane. And right after, straight the net. Back it goes. Straight shot is blocked. Simmons and straight after. Straight kept it in and gets it back again. Maneuvering in traffic. Rolls it around to Simmons behind the net. And this pass ends up intercepted by Perron. And Perron back the other way. Left wing feed Yuensu. Yuensu shot off the glove of Mason. And then he gathers it and covers up.
Great game.
47 minutes remaining in the third period to orchestrate it. Here is Strite. Through Couturier. Back in front. It got caught up in skates. And then back toward the point. McCauley did not keep that in. It's offside. He plays it back off. Couturier. Back in front. It got caught up in skates. And then back toward the point. Lecavalier did not keep that in. It's offside as he plays it back off the teammate.
Big points on the line here for the Flyers. They got to find a way to muster up a few more opportunities here against Ilya Bryzgalov, who has made a couple of big saves in this game. He also got after David Perron in the defensive zone, and Perron rewards his goaltender with the power play marker to get the lead back.
Well, anyway, to stack it up, this game stays 3-2. He's going to be probably the first star. He's got 30 saves, whether it looks pretty making them or not. He has made some big stops, and it'll be the storyline that he beat the Flyers. So the Flyers trying to disrupt that storyline here in the late going. Coburn pitches, gets the puck, knocks it into the corner. And the rookie defenseman wrenching after it there, and he'll play it up off the glove of Coburn and down into the neutral zone. Spilled his team in penalty. Penske will go, tripping the call. The Flyers gets tripped out at fourth puck. He'll try the other side of the ice. Giroux over, but he's checked, and the puck punched down the ice. Tested. And the Oilers. There's your McDonald's power play penalty contested. Team in ahead. Voracek gains the line, dishes left side. Hartnell shot, and Bryzgalov the save. Hartnell then drilled into the boards, is shaken up there. Is a penalty coming up? Flyers, the pass across to Voracek, down low for Simmons. Really want the Oilers to play the puck. They do, and they have a two-man advantage with 1:26 still remaining on the Penske minor.
Hartnell still running back in his head there as he gets cross-checked behind from Petrie, who heads to the penalty box. Hartnell hustling to track that loose puck, and there's the cross-check. Ball made from the neutral zone, and it's the right one, and the Flyers get a 5-on-3 opportunity.
You see the same thing we were talking about earlier. You know, you should have pushed a little bit right there with it, but then he extended it. And as soon as he extended it, he got Hartnell in the back of the head, knocked him right into the board. Same thing that Strike got earlier in the hockey game.
Timeout call by Craig Berube here to organize the 5-on-3. And he'll send out 4 forwards and 1 defenseman, teaming in the sole defenseman. The only change here is Lecavalier up front instead of Hartnell. Also, Simmons is off there, so you got Voracek. Hartnell is out there. It's Simmons who is taken off.
The 5-on-3 is a different setup than the 5-on-4, so they've taken Simmons off here, who's been the hottest Flyer as far as scoring goals, but this is the way they practice it, so they'll stick with it here to start, but you have to wonder with Simmons on the bench.
I just assumed he was out there. He who assumes. Off the draw, they get control. Here is Timonen. Lecavalier looks toward the net. Down low, Giroux. Giroux waits. Back out. Timonen shot. They score! Lecavalier. Oh, they get control. Here is Timonen. Lecavalier looks toward the net. Down low, Giroux. Giroux waits. Back out. Timonen shot. They score! Timonen. Lecavalier looks toward the net. Down low, Giroux. Giroux waits. Back out. Timonen toward the net. Down low, Giroux. Giroux waits. Back out. Timonen.
Their thrust is a thing of beauty. This
Petrie penalty. Voracek, Perron tried to, and finally flip. Chance here for the, and he does skate it to center ice. Turns with it and then finally flings into the Philadelphia zone. Another McDonald's power play payoff contested. Big chance here for the Flyers to take the lead with less than 5 minutes to go in the period. Hartnell will blast the puck in. Simmons tries to go get it. Round behind, all the way to the corner. Hartnell did not get there, and it's sent down the ice by Gordon. Strike. Turned back. 42 seconds remaining. Flyers very deliberate here as Strike wants things just right before moving up. From the red line, he'll blast it in. Shen check, puck to Downey, turns, lost it. Shen shot goes wide. The wall of Downey got it back to Mazaros, and backing along it goes to Braden Shen. To Lecavalier. Now out to Strike for the shot, and it finds its way into the glove of Bryzgalov.
back goal team just made it, catches that.
It's a live play, but Mazaros rotated over, got the puck to Lecavalier. Was passed to the line. And now the puck ahead to the Philadelphia line. Missing it is Mazzaro. Here's Hall. Spinning. Knocked down. Prime wants a penalty. They're not going to get it. And now the Flyers move up. Braden Shen slowly through center. Hit across the line. And he'll just tip it around behind the net. LeCavalier, ridden by Ferentz. Back to full strength hockey with 3:25 remaining in the third. Coburn. For Downey. Downey, it's down by Nick Schultz. Protects the puck. And then is knocked to the ice. Gets back up, gets knocked down again. And Everly there. Flyers peel back. And Everly's passes to Hall. Hall with a right wing dish back to Everly. Looked to get it in front, broken up by Grossman. Cavalier had that puck get away from him out in front, but the Flyers are there, and it's cleared out to center by Downey, and the Flyers trying to make a change here. Everly will turn the puck deep into the Philadelphia zone. Uensu and Hall. And the Oilers get to it. Gagne back around behind, but Hall will come up with it. He's going to scoop that one to the neutral zone. Beloff knocks it down. Reed gets to him. Beloff able to keep him from maneuvering into the Edmonton zone. Luke Shen is spin around at his own line. And then the right hand feed on the money to Couturier. Couturier holds. And a second shot off. The first try was blocked. Second one, a weak shot. Brizgalov handled. Now Luke Shen holds on, spins. Dangerous play. And he lost it. Perron in the breakaway. One-on-one with Mason. Mason sprawls across. It stays out. Flyers can't find the puck. Now it's Mazzaro's trying to pin Perron. Big play right there. This game stays tied. Just over 2 minutes. But Hartnell breaks the 9-game goalless drought with a redirection. This game tied, but barely. This game was brought to you by Toyota. See where Toyota takes you. Test drive one at your Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places. By Bud Light, it's the sure sign of a good time. Here we go. And by Wells Fargo. When you're considering buying your first home, Wells Fargo is with you. Wells Fargo, together we go far. That's beautiful. Edmonton doesn't really look cold, but it is.
It is, and this was a close call here. Luke Shen turns this puck over. David Perron had the game on his stick here on the breakaway. Goes to the backhand. Mason gets a piece of it. The goalpost gets a lot of it. And the Flyers have a huge close call that goes their way there. There's Luke to tap the goal.
Well, Luke comes over and goes away saying, "Oh, thanks."
Referees tonight are Brian Butler and Kyle Raymond. Are the lines up, and we're ready for hockey for the first time in Rogers Place. Connor McDavid's on the ice with his
here in the third for the Oilers. So the Flyers, you might say, they knocked out the 36-15. I'd say they deserve a better fate. Also got some breaks in the third. Here's Giroux moving up. Trying to step around Ferentz, but the veteran defenseman would have none of it. Moves it to Hall, but he turns it over to Giroux, who turns fires wide. Oh, he had Brizgalov leading, but he missed the target. Now it's Hall to Everly. And across the line. Everly stops, changes direction, his centering pass. That was snuffed out by Raffo, who charges up with the puck. Raffo hit across the line, tries to dangle, and Ferentz was up to that as well. The puck just slides into Brizgalov.
Well played there by Andrew Ferentz. It was Giroux with an opportunity to try to win this for the Flyers late as he fired a quick wrist shot to the glove side of Ilya Brizgalov, and just missed getting to the back of the net, and Giroux heads to the bench, and the Flyers get a new line out there.
Boy, that was a beautiful shot, too. I was looking right over his shoulder. He let the thing go.
The new line missed. Getting to the back of the net, and Giroux heads to the bench, and the Flyers get a new line out there.
Boy, that was a beautiful shot, too. I was looking right over his shoulder. He let the thing go. Really, let that puck go.
In front, but no call. And now Reed tries to dangle, and Ferentz was up to that as well. This slides into Brizgalov.
Well played there by Andrew Ferentz. It was Giroux with an opportunity to try to win this for the Flyers late as he fired a quick wrist shot to the glove side of Ilya Brizgalov.
Good Lord. Well said. Quote of the year for Mickey Redmond. End the year. Listen to the crowd.
Game's going on. Nick Schultz and third into the Philadelphia zone off the stick. Mason will set it up. Tip back right.
Rose got it defense down.
Here, that's behind LeCavalier. Gobble up by Nick Schultz and cleared into the Philadelphia zone off his stick. Mason will set it up for strike. Tries to organize a game-winning rush right here. Simmons tip pass though. Moves through Reed and all the way deep into the Edmonton zone. There's ahead, look out, with room. Gagné across the line, the right wing feet. Perron, the shot off the glove of Mason. He's been hit. No penalty call. And back the other way go the Flyers. Mason a little slow getting back up to his skates as the Flyers clear the puck into the Edmonton zone. 9 seconds on the clock. The puck skips out of play off a deflection. Going to be a face-off in the neutral zone.
Tough to get the call there after the Flyers had the 5-on-3 opportunity where they end up tying this thing in the third period. But there was a lot of contact on Mason on that chance, and there was a lot of contact with the goalpost in the third period. There's the quick shot from the slot by Sam Gagné. Point shot from Petrie, and Perron rings one off the goalpost as well.
And here's that last play, Goetze.
Yeah, and look where Mason's stick ends up. Bang! He gets drilled at the left.
2 hours, 0 minutes. 2 hours, 0 minutes. 2 hours, 0 minutes. 2 hours, 0 minutes.
For the first time in 12 years, the rookie finishes it off for the Flyers. Win the hockey game. 4-3 is your final. 2-1 in the shootout.
What a great choice by Craig Berube, another player that Brizgalov has not seen as a teammate. And Raffl comes up with a terrific move, fakes 5-4, walks around, and does the old roof job on Brizgalov. Look at the move there. Around, great patience. Referee doesn't want us to see it, but we got it anyway. Brizgalov can't come up with an outstanding move and a great finish for Raffl to take this one on the road. The Flyers find a way to win.
And I think the Flyers may have found themselves another player to try in these shootouts. That's a heck of a lot of patience for a rookie.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Brizgalov there stretches one more time before he leaves the building tonight with a nice L.
Raffl.
He doesn't want us to see it, but we got it anyway. Brizgalov can't come up with an outstanding move and a great finish for Raffl to take this one on the road. The Flyers find a way to win.
And I think the Flyers may have found themselves another player to try in these shootouts.
Flyers find a way, and a great finish for Raffl to take this one on the road. The Flyers find a way to win.
And I think the Flyers may have found themselves another player to try in these shootouts. That's a heck of a lot of patience for a rookie.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Brizgalov there stretches one more time before he leaves the building tonight with a nice L.
Raffl, the winner. The Flyers get this 6-game road trip off on the right foot. A come from behind and 4-3 shootout victory. They'll try to make it 2 wins in a row on the trip. 2 wins in a row overall as they travel to Vancouver, take on the Canucks. Monday night coverage on Comcast Sportsnet begins at 9:30. So Brizgalov unable to get a victory in his first game against the Flyers as an Oiler. Flyers win it and now head to Vancouver. For the entire crew, as well as my partners Keith Jones and Steve Coates, I'm Jim Jackson. Good night from Edmonton. It's time now for Flyers post-game live presented by McDonald's. Here's John Bork in the game.
17